Hey everybody, I'm Andrew. Welcome back to Eden Rock Farm. First thing that I need to do this morning is get my laying hens situated. The wife came in here last night while I was up with the chicks. We've got more chicks in the brooder also. We may go check on them here in a little while. I got a few things I need to do there also. But she pulled the netting last night and we drug the mobile chicken coop up here to a new spot. We're gonna put them on some fresh grass and give them a new area. They were in this spot over here just a little too long, and we've had a lot of rain, so that hasn't helped none. But we have two different size poultry nettings that we use, and this over here was the smaller one. I normally use the bigger one, but with our meat birds being out on pasture and us having a little bit of a predator issue, I went ahead and pulled my big one over to them. But I want to go ahead and get that larger netting pulled and get it over here with my laying hens so that they have a bigger area. Forgot my Energizer. I've got that Zariba over there, but it's not enough to power this bigger fence. So I need to get the Gallagher. So when I'm putting my netting up for my chickens, I start in the middle where the 2 end connections are and put those in first. And then I work my way around both sides and I try to meet back here in the center. And that way when I get back here, everything's stretched nice and tight and there's no sags in my fence. And then after I finish up that, I go to my 4 corners and I go ahead and put a stake in the ground, and I take a rope on each side and I attach it to the stake and I pull my corners tight. And it also helps to keep my fence up off the ground in the center here. And the more of this fence you can keep up off the ground, the better charge you're gonna have on your Energizer. So we got our girls situated and we got them on some fresh grass. They seem happy. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and go up to the brooder and check on our new chicks. They're actually about a week and a half, 2 weeks old now, but I've got a few things I need to do up there. So we'll head up there next and take care of that. So I'm in here in the brooder and I've got a little different setup than I had in my last video I did on my brooders. I usually use the cardboard bins, but I ran out of those, so I'm going ahead and doing this for now. I did this in the past and this seems to work out really good too. And as you can see, I've got a few birds out over here on the other side where they're not supposed to be. And they're getting up and roosting on this board too. So I need to do a couple things here. I need to come in here and add a board in here that I can slide down in here about halfway up. I've got these set on sliders. So I need to get me another board in here, and then I'm gonna put this one back on top so that I can raise this one up a little bit, and hopefully that'll keep them from getting out. And it's not really that big of a deal because they don't have anywhere to go. I mean, I've got chicken wire up everywhere, but it just makes it to where I can keep them in one area and keep it cleaner. I had to put a little shavings in the floor across the edge here where they were roosting and they were pooping in the floor on this side. But now that they're over in here, they're starting to make more of a mess. So I want to go ahead and get this taken care of. And after that, I want to get these waters on some chains and get them up off the floor because they're scratching so much and they're getting shavings in the water. So I'm going to grab a piece of wood and get it cut to fit and see if we can get these taken care of. You guys ain't supposed to be over here. Come on. You crazy birds. You crazy birds. Yeah, it's been an hour and a half and it's plumb full of shavings. So we'll get that taken care of here in a minute. See if I can do this without anybody getting out. I don't know if it's gonna matter much. Back up. I don't know if this will be tall enough, but we'll see, I guess. So my gap here between my two boards wasn't wide enough, so I'm having to take one of these down. This board's a little wider than this piece here. I want to make sure it's wide enough so that it slides nice and easy. It's a little wobbly, but maybe that'll help deter them from getting up on it anyway. That's quite a bit higher. If I need to, I'll cut me a little shim or a piece of wood to go down here to tighten that up, but I kind of like it being loose up top. Maybe that'll help keep them off of it. So I'm just going to use these two existing chains that my brooder lamps are hanging off of. I've still got one brooder lamp up here if I need it at night if it gets cold, but as of now I'm not needing it, so I think they're going to be good from here on out. And I got a carabiner on the end. I'll just adjust it to the height I need for my water. As long as I can keep it a few inches off the ground, then that should be good enough. They're pretty thirsty. They had them full of shavings and couldn't get any water, so. Those two feeders that I have there are turbo feeders. They're orange and yellow feeders. Once my chicks get to a certain age, about a week and a half or 2 weeks old, I'll move them over to those instead of these. Let me grab one. Instead of these little red feeders with the holes in them, I'll switch over to those turbo feeders. They hold a lot more and you can just feel from the top. I put boards on top of them to keep them from pooping in them because as you can see they get up on top of them. See if I can grab one of these feeders and I'll show you what they look like. Watch out! Watch out! Even with the board up there, you can see they still get a little bit of poop and wood chips down in there, but these work real good once they get older. They hold quite a bit of feed. With those other ones, I would have to be feeding probably 2 or 3 times a day. Even if I had 3 or 4 feeders in here, I'd still have to do it a couple times a day. And with these, I can fill them up and usually get a day out of them if I'm running at least 2. So these do real good. I like them a lot. So we've got all them taken care of, and I think that's going to work for now. They're not going to be in here, but maybe another week or so anyway. But I was also thinking about my meat birds out there. I hate to leave them without any protection around the perimeter of their pens, since we have had some predator issues. And I think I've got an idea for that. I'm going to come back here in a few hours this evening when it cools off, and I'll bring y'all along and I'll show you what I have in mind. So I've got 2 sections of hog netting. This is a pig quick fence through Premier One, and I use these on my pigs every now and then. For the most part, I use 1 or 2 strands of electric, so I don't use these very often, but they do serve their place. But right now I don't see me needing to use them anytime soon, so I think I'm going to use these here, and I think they're going to do a good job for what I'm needing, just to help keep the predators away from my meat birds. These are only a 30-inch tall netting, but the spaces at the bottom are still pretty close. I think they're close enough to where it'll keep most of our predators out. Around here, probably raccoon and possum and skunk are probably our main predators. We do have some fox also in the area, and they could jump the fence, but I think for the most part this will cover any issues I should have. So I think I'm going to go ahead, and since I've got 2 fences here, I'm going to do a connection here in the middle between these 2 chicken tractors, and bring each fence around separately and join them in the middle up front. That way when I go to move them next time, I can just bring this in loose and swing it around on both ends and not have to pull the whole netting. But I'll do a little walk around when I get finished up and show y'all how it's set up and how it looks. But I guess that's it for this video. Thank y'all for joining us here on the farm. I hope y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time.